All right, once again, we're back again, Buff Nation, to the whole world. As a matter of fact, this your guy CT the Fan alongside T Cal. You know we make it do what it do. Welcome back to another episode of Buff and Prime.
And man, hey, we appreciate y'all on the D coordinator video. I'm glad y'all loved it. It's CT's fault that I did not know the mouse was not working. He sat there and watched the whole thing and didn't say anything that he couldn't see where the mouse was moving. And I was in Mexico, didn't have the best Wi-Fi down there. So I had to upload the video instead of screen sharing like normal where you can see my mouse. So I had no idea that you guys couldn't see where I was pointing and doing everything. But it's good. We got that taken care of. Appreciate y'all getting us over 1,000 subscribers. I think that video alone got us like over 500. Maybe
yeah, that was wild.
600 now.
Definitely want to say thank you guys for that. Sharing that video, liking it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. Make sure y'all keep sharing. And like always, we're going to keep bringing you guys substance and football knowledge along with the fan perspective. So stay tuned for that. But let's get into it. So Super Bowl just happened, and there were some interviews going on at Super Bowl weekend. I know Shedeur sat down with DNVR amongst Cam Newton and some other media outlets and did some interviews. And he said a lot in those. So first, we got to go over what went wrong in 2023 with Colorado. And Shedeur's answer, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think went wrong. And we remember Coach Prime saying pretty early in the season, even when we're undefeated, he said we're about 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 dogs away from being where we need to be.
Right.
And I just rewatched the TCU game, and hopefully we're going to get access to all 22 film, which is film so you can see the entire field at once, because I don't like breaking down TV copies. But hopefully we can get access to that so we can break down the TCU game. But I rewatched that this past weekend. We made a lot of mistakes. We did not play as good of a game as we could have. And me and you were going crazy watching that game. Like, even rewatching it, bro, that game was so magical. But we did a lot of things wrong as far as the block punt, the fumble right before half. Like, that game could have been a blowout for us. Like, we really could have blown TCU out.
You could have rolled.
But we're just missing in some areas. We just didn't have everything that we needed. So obviously we're missing some players. Is there anything else that you think that really went wrong last year?
Yeah, I thought like you can tell, because you know when we was watching the games even later in the season, even the Colorado State game, actually the Colorado State game, we're like, man, why are I not adjusting to these crossing routes? They're like fucking killing us. Are we not adjusting? And you know, we're sitting here as from the fan perspective. I'm like, what the hell the coach doing? I can see that they're killing us on these crossing routes, right?
Exactly.
But you don't understand that, you know, hey, you know, it's probably a talent issue too. Like, you know, we didn't have them dogs. If you don't have the people, because being a football player is more than just about your ability to play. You got to be able to understand the game and understand where you need to be, you know. So yeah, I just feel like but you know, what was he expect? He got hired late, you know, saying he hit the transfer portal late, and then all those kids left. So, you know, I mean, what could we expect?
And that's what Shedeur said in his interview. He said we did not have enough dogs last year.
Right.
And that's the first time I heard a player come out publicly and say that. I heard Coach Prime say it, but to hear Shedeur say that somebody inside the locker room, actually out there on the field, was big. And I have some more stuff that he actually said. He said he's not even, you know, the guy to, you know, talk a lot of junk or be a rah-rah guy. He said, but when you got guys out there that can't stick up for themselves and are just okay with that, he said that made him have to become that and have to step up and become more, so they can say, oh, well, we see two doing it, so that means we can do it as well.
Right.
And that is, like you just said, it's way more than football ability.
Yes.
Like being the mentality that you have to be elite. That can change somebody from playing like a 5-star to playing like somebody who should be a walk-on. And I've seen it. I've experienced it myself of not being able to be a dog because of the coaches surrounding me, and how that affected me. And I'm about to play this clip first before I get more into that, because I remember telling you, I sent this to basically all of our family as soon as this came out, because I was like, this is huge. And this, for me, let me know that Coach Prime, that's a coach that I would love to play for. So I'm about to pull this clip up. And this is from well after me.
Come on. There we go. Hey. That shit touchdown, hey. Keep going up, man. Keep going up, man. Who just fought? He just fought. I seen two of y'all walking off over there.
So before we play the rest of this, I've been in this situation so many times. And I was watching this clip expecting it to go the exact same way. When I was at the University of Nevada under a terrible coach, Brian Polian, who's out of coaching now, thank God. Right here, and he said, who was out there? You're kicked out of practice immediately. Kicked out of practice. Done. Anybody who participated at all, out of practice. The two guys who walked off, Coach Polian, he was like, hey, that's what you do. You walk away from confrontations. You don't do stupid stuff and get into a fight. It's not what Coach Prime said. So I'm going to play the rest of it.
And you got to keep teammate fighting. What they do that at? Nowhere. What they do that at? Not here. In one fight, we all fight. You understand that? I don't want to see y'all walking off when somebody's fight. Yes, sir. Never again.
Bro,
that's that old school aggressive, bro, right there.
I got goosebumps watching that clip. And that's the difference between somebody like my former coach at Nevada, who had never been an elite athlete, has never played and been a dog. Like Coach Prime understands that you fight during training camp. You're competing.
Because it's gladiators.
You're competitors. Yeah, you're supposed to. You don't want to. I mean, obviously you can go overboard, but you want a dog to be a dog.
Exactly.
When you try to harness them, you take away what they do. You take away that competitive spirit. Man, you don't let your teammates. You're supposed to be your brothers. You're not gonna let your teammate fight and y'all walking off and just letting it be cool. You're not gonna let especially during camp, this offense versus defense, y'all going at it all the time.
Right.
I'm not gonna let the offense hem up my dude. Like this lineman, I would have came from the sideline, try to deck him. Boy, I would have got it in. Like that's how you're supposed to be. That's how dogs are. And when we go back to the mentality, when I was at Nevada, we couldn't fight. We couldn't talk trash. We couldn't, like, if you make a play, you can't celebrate. And I remember Coach Prime talking about in the spring last year, he said, hey, we need some more dogs at DB. He said the receivers are killing him at practice, talking crazy to him, and they won't even talk back.
Wow.
Where at Nevada, you talk back. You're being uncoachable, and not talking back to the coach, but talking back to the offense. You're being uncoachable. You're not being a leader. You're out here trying to be tough and stuff like that. It's like, that's who I am as a player. When I'm at my best is when I'm talking. That's what dogs like. Right. Let me be me. And
exactly.
Seeing Coach Prime was mad because he didn't have those. And then, like I said, I've been in situations where coach is mad because you were trying to be a dog and you were trying to be yourself. So when you take that away from dogs, it makes them, it doesn't let them play to their full potential.
Exactly.
And Coach Prime, it seemed like, was in a situation where he was trying to bring the potential out of dogs, but they weren't actual dogs.
They're not there. He realized he didn't have no dogs. It's like the 300 mentality. Like, that's your brother. You know, you stand by his side. You fight, we all fight. But I knew. Go ahead. No, I knew when Coach Prime was like real serious about it when he said, hey, we keep receipts. He said, you come to Colorado thinking we're going to break up a fight. Then you coming to the wrong school, buddy. He said, that's why most of y'all, because that's the way he's trying to separate who's real dogs and who's not. Oh, you think you're going to start a fight and then run away? Oh, nah, we ain't going to break it up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that and that's what I hate that I saw in college football so much. So when I finally decided to transfer, I ended up at Alabama A&M because, again, we were handcuffed by transfer rules at that time. This was in 2015. I announced I was transferring. I had other FBS schools that wanted me, but back then you had to wait a full year. You had to sit out a full season, lose a full year eligibility, and then you could play. So I was a redshirt sophomore at the time. So I would have, if I went to a FBS school, I would have had to sit out that upcoming year and then only have my senior season left. Wasn't going to do that. So I knew I had to look at the FCS level. My coach, who recruited me to Nevada, had became the head coach at Alabama A&M. And as soon, the second I announced, I put a post on Instagram because there wasn't transfer portal back then. You didn't put your name in the transfer portal. You had to actually let schools know personally that you were available. He messaged me as soon as I posted on Instagram and said, I need you. He said, come down here. I need you. So I come down for my visit and we're talking about, why he left Nevada and why I was leaving Nevada. And he said, I know you, Teray. I really know you because I used to cut his son's hair and stuff like that when we were at Nevada. So we had a relationship even beyond football. Was at his house a lot. He said, I know you. I know who you are. He said, I'm comfortable with that. He said, not only am I comfortable with that, he said, that's what we need here. Right. He said, that's what we don't have on this team is somebody like you.
Right.
So for me, that's all I needed to hear. Okay, that's where I need to be. Right. So I came in as a transfer. I didn't come in, hey, I'm just going to grind, stay quiet, and earn their respect. No, I came in big bully mode. Hey, I'm here. I'm top dog. Y'all gonna follow me or you're going to get ran over. Simple. And I try to make that contagious. I tried to get everybody to be dogs. Like our strength coach, it was one of my best friends to this day. He's one of the assistant strength coaches at Georgia now. He was that assistant at Alabama and then came to Alabama A&M. So he gets there and we were both new at the time. And I think we were doing 6 a.m. workouts at the time, something like that. And I told him, I said, you ain't never going to beat me to the gym, ever. He's like, man, who are you talking to? I said, you ain't never going to beat me to the gym. Bro, from my junior year all the way to senior year, you can ask him this. Lonnie Brown, he's a strength coach at University of Georgia. We had the earliest we ever had practice was 5:30. The latest I ever got to the weight room, 3:30 in the morning. And we used to race to the weight room every single morning just because he got that dog in him. He's like, I'm not going to let no player beat me to my weight room where I'm the strength coach. I'm like, man, I ain't letting a soul beat me. So we used to literally race every morning to the weight room. And I say that because we'd be in the weight room because I got a few other guys on board. It's 4 or 5 of us, dogs. We up at 3:30 in the morning, getting a full workout before practice and then lifting with our regular groups. And players would walk past us because you have to go through the weight room to get to the locker room every morning and not bother them. They'd walk in, go put their stuff on, go to practice normally. Me, I wouldn't be able to sleep if I'm going to the weight room. I see somebody grinding harder than me. Yeah. That would bother me, and it didn't bother them. Right. That was the first moment I was like, man, these dudes aren't dogs. Another moment, Alabama A&M and Alabama State, huge rivals. We had the Magic City Classic every single year, big rivals. So before the game, we locked in. We can't wait for this rivalry. So we had a captain, basically like a leadership committee that met with the coach every week. And we discussed, certain things about game plan and more of the logistics of the game and what jersey uniforms we want to wear, stuff like that. So going to the game, me and 2 of my homeboys who played linebacker and corner, we're like, hey, either the first time we score or the first kickoff, we want everybody to come off the bench and surround the other team, whether it's their kick return team or it's their defense if we just scored on them, because we want to set the tone. We're like, we're going to get a penalty, but we coming to set the tone. And lo and behold, a bunch of the other guys, the other captains and leaders on the team said, you know what, coach, we really don't want to do that, because if we do that, then they're going to be even more motivated and we don't need to give them any extra motivation.
You can't. What? Yeah.
You worried about giving them extra motivation? Bro, I don't care if I talk about your mama. You better be as motivated as possible because you got to face me.
Right.
I don't care what's your motivation level. You got to see me every play. I want you to be motivated because I'm going to still dog you out and you're not going to have no shot. So that got shot down, which was like, we were talking about that. Me and my boys were like, we really don't have dogs here. Like, this is crazy. So me and the other corner, we said, hey, first play of the game, we just going to choke them out. We're going to choke out the receivers. Meaning we not letting them off the line of scrimmage. Whatever they try to do, we not let them off the line. We'll get flagged, whatever, but we set this tone early. We did that. Luckily, it was a run play, so we didn't get no flag, but we choked them out, didn't let them move. Bro, they threw 16 passes that game. I'm going to let you guess how many passing yards they had.
Let's say 35.
Just so, because I always keep receipts. They had 28 passing yards in a full college football game on 16 attempts.
Wow.
And we played man coverage every single play. Locked up. That film's still on YouTube too. That full game's on YouTube. 2017 Magic City Classic. But that's crazy. That's what dogs do. Like, when you're a dog, you don't care about what the other team has, their game plan. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna beat you. And Shedeur said other guys were having trouble sticking up for themselves. Like, bro, you grown men. Like, you having trouble sticking up. You can't win that way. Like, you need dogs on the team. That's why I was so excited when I saw the Khalil Benson video. I'm like, yeah, I like that energy. I can promise y'all, whatever y'all want, he gonna get it in this season. I know a dog when I see one. I know an alpha male when I see one, and I know a fake alpha male when I see one. Khalil Benson's legit. That's what you need around you to be successful and to win. And they didn't have that last year, unfortunately. At least not enough. Like, there's some people that are dogs, you either dog or not, but there's some people that want to be dogs because they see everybody else being a dog. But when it comes down to it, they don't have that mentality of, hey,
right,
I'm that guy. I don't care what you got going. You're not stopping me.
Right.
And that's what, I really felt that we were missing, unfortunately. And one guy who I know is an absolute dog is Travis. Absolute dog. And
Travis is the absolute dog. I agree with you 100%.
I'd known he was a dog, but this is something that I would have done in college. And so he got into it right here with dude, grabbed his jersey, come back the next play. I'm not just going to press you. I'm going to humiliate you. I'm going to press you onto the Gatorade and bark at you while I'm doing it. Ooh. That is what a dog, that dog mentality, man.
That is that dog mentality.
There just wasn't enough of it to go around. And hearing Shedeur say that really just confirmed it for me. It just wasn't fully there. And I think that's what they really hit in the transfer portal is like, let's go get dogs from other places. Yeah. Let's go get dogs that may be somewhere where they're not letting them be a dog. Where they're not letting them
and I'm the best ones
they really need to be.
And I agree with you on that because Coach Prime even showed his dog mentality last year going in that overtime. He said, nah, defense, I ain't giving no. I'm giving it to Shedeur. We got to go down and score. That is
a dog. I don't care what the statistics say. I don't care what the probability says. My quarterback's better than yours. My son's better than any of your players.
Yeah.
Go be great.
That's be great. That was wow.
And that mentality can be contagious, but it has to be to the right people.
But it won't have to be that much because I feel like he's gonna weed them out anyway. Come spring ball, come spring transfer portal. Like, it's like if you come to Colorado, you don't know what it means to be like he's changing everything about it, the core.
Yeah.
So I just think that because people that are not dogs ain't gonna want to stick around because because they're gonna have it the hardest because you practice against dogs every day.
And like you said, you'll be able to see it now because last year we were getting transfers in just to be able to play.
Right.
Now we're getting transfers in for depth. So now people got to compete. So last year was like, hey, if I transferred in, I basically know I'm starting. This year, it's not like that a lot of positions.
No, not at all, buddy.
Multiple starters at the same position that are transferred here. That receiver room is going to be crazy. Yes. We're going to see who's really a dog. Everyone talks, I want to be, I'm that guy. I'm 7-Eleven open all the time. We're going to see now. So I'm really excited to see how spring ball goes because, you're going to see people start to separate themselves. You're going to see guys that we might have thought were pretty good last year, and then somebody else comes in like, hey, and we're also going to see, I promise you, some of these guys, Anquan Barnes, Quincy Wiggins, that weren't starters at their previous school, for whatever reason, we're going to see some of those guys emerge and look like who people either expected them to look like out of high school, both of them at Bama and LSU, or, it might be somebody from a smaller school. We're like, hey, he's way better than we could have imagined, because now they're playing under a coach who knows how to coach them, who knows how to get the most out of them, and they're better scheme fits potentially with our new D coordinator and offensive coordinator. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with that in the spring, see who really starts to separate themselves. But yeah, Shedeur, 100% right. Not enough dogs, but hopefully we have that
number of facts. I got no complaints about that, because he is 100% right. There just wasn't enough dogs on the team. And just imagine, look how close they were, and they didn't even have enough dogs. Like people think, oh, Colorado last year. I'm like, no, you need to go back and watch them games, man. It's not as far out as it's not. It wasn't nothing like that. That wasn't the 1-11 season last week. So, but I definitely think they got the dogs this year. And boy, it's gonna be on.
Absolutely.